What's happening, friends? This is Vijay Bose from Let's Connect show on KONNECTiN. We tested a bunch of cameras in our studio, and out of all cameras that we tested, Sony a6100 is by far the best budget-friendly camera that we liked because of the image quality and future-proof. And it is 6K, and it is roughly about $748, and you can get the stunning looking video footage like what you're seeing right now. So in today's live show, we're going to be talking about the best camera settings that you can configure within Sony a6100 that will allow you to bring the best video feed from the camera into your computer and making it available to Zoom, Skype, and ecamm Live on Mac and Streamyard. So let's get started. The very first thing that you do is actually click on the menu item, the back of the camera, and it is already highlighted in this first, you see the image. And Sony's menu system is fantastic. It is, you have this tabs, different tabs, and also divided into the tabs are divided into pages. So it becomes very user-friendly for people, any new beginners, to actually go through this menu system. Good job, Sony. The first setting that you have to do is actually set the aspect ratio, and it is on the first tab, on the first page, you set it to 16:9. By the way, the settings that I'm actually showing today are centered around how you can get the video feed from Sony camera to help you with the live streaming and business level presentations for Skype, Zoom, and things like that. And this camera is also a fantastic photography camera, and it also has got awesome 4K capability for anyone who is interested in filmmaking. Let's go to the next setting. The next setting is actually, it's again on the first tab. This actually is on the 5th page. The two important settings that you have to set are focus mode, and you have to make sure the focus mode is set to continuous autofocus and the focus area is set to wide. Moving over to the next setting is the thing is on the 9th. Thing is on the 9th page. The first tab, 9th page, is the white balance. If you're not a geek, or if you're not that technically savvy, make sure that you set the white balance to auto and can give you the best quality image. But if you're a geek, if you wanted to have more creative control, you can set the white balance to custom white balance. Then there are a host of videos out there on YouTube. You can just watch that, and that'll help you get the best settings for white balance. And the second one in the same page is a creative style. There are a bunch of styles available, but the one that's going to give you the best video feed is actually the standard. Over to the next setting is exposure mode. If you are not geek, and if you are just a newbie and getting started, and you can set the exposure mode to program auto, then it's going to give you the best settings for the camera and to bring the best video quality. But if you have more creative control, I would highly encourage you to set the exposure mode to manual exposure, and that's going to unlock three important settings actually. One is the shutter speed, second is the aperture, and the third is the ISO value. Basically, when you set it to manual exposure, you can control shutter speed and aperture. ISO, basically you can set it even in program auto. And there are two other settings, and those two other settings actually nothing to do with the live streaming, but actually if you plan on recording your video within the camera, and make sure that you set the file format to XAVCS SHD, and the record setting is 24p 50m. I set this camera to give me good quality high definition video footage. You can configure this to 4K video footage as well, but for the purpose of today's live show, I'm only setting this to high definition. Moving over to the next setting, like I said, in the previous settings actually we looked at the exposure mode, and if you set the exposure mode to manual exposure, and in this one you can have more creative control in controlling your shutter speed and the aperture value f1.4. f1.4 is the maximum wide aperture that this camera the lens that I'm using is a fast wide open fast aperture. It's the fastest lens that I'm using in today's show, and the maximum wide open that I can go with that lens is actually 1.4. So with the manual exposure, you will be able to control the shutter speed. And the rule is this: if the frames per second that you set it as 24 frames per second, then the shutter speed is always going to be the twice as that of the frames per second. So if it is 24, the best shutter speed for cinematic quality image would be 1/48. Since this camera does not have that 1/48, the nearest setting that you can configure is 1/50. All right, moving over to the next setting is the AF drive speed, and set it to normal. And the AF tracking sensitivity, there are two options for sensitivity. It's responsive and standard. I set it to responsive, but you can also set it to standard. This one, auto power off temperature. Sony is very famous for overheating at a low temperature too. So you don't want your camera to power off in the middle of a live stream, or you're doing a business presentation using Skype or Zoom. You don't want that to happen. So this setting, if you set it to high, that Sony will not power off at low temperatures. Over to the HDMI settings. If you click on it, it's going to take you to a subcategory of HDMI, and let's go over that. The resolution. I mentioned about high definition resolution earlier, and in this live show I am only showing the HDMI resolution to 1080p resolution, and the next one is the frames per second is 24 frames per second. And the third one is an important setting that you have to do. It's called HDMI info display. What that setting does is actually is, if you, the first thing that you power on the camera, and the monitor shows a bunch of status text. And this setting actually controls that HDMI info display. If you turn it on, that status text will be transmitted over to the computer and then make it available to other applications. But if you set it to off, your status text won't be transmitted. And that's the optimal settings for getting the clean feed from the camera. That's about the basic settings that you have to configure within the camera. Now over to some of the other hardware devices that you probably need to facilitate bringing the video feed into your camera. And one important hardware device that you need is the audio video capture card. In this picture, I'm showing 3 capture cards here. I'm using 2 of them in this live show. The first one is the Mavis Link audio video capture card. It's a It's a budget friendly, a good quality one. It's about roughly in the 30s or 40s, $40. It's available on Amazon. By the way, everything that I'm showing today, I have all the links available in the description, so you can check that out. The second one is the Elgato CamLink 4K capable audio video capture card. The difference between Elgato CamLink and Mavis Link is Elgato CamLink is much more higher quality audio video capture card. You get much more sharper, much more good quality video feed into your computer. Plus, it is also future proof. You can, if you ever decided to go with the 4K streaming, this CamLink 4K allows you to stream at 4K resolution. And the third capture card is actually Pengo technology, 1080p. That's we tested. It's a very good capture card, but it only allows you to live stream at or business presentation at 1080p resolution. And over to the right side of the capture card is the USB power adapter, because you don't want to use Sony camera, with the battery. The reason being is actually the battery doesn't last long. I think it lasts only probably for 20-25 minutes. That's the max in our testing. So we found this awesome USB power adapter that you can actually use it with AC, so that your camera can be powered on for extended period of time. And one more thing that you need is the cable, the HDMI cable. Sony needs a micro HDMI to HDMI cable. You can check that out. The next one that you need to pair your camera with are a bunch of lenses. Actually, I would highly recommend you check out all these lenses and pick the best one. If the recording space is actually narrow, then I would highly encourage you to look at Sigma 16mm 1.4. It's a wide angle lens. It's going to give you the best quality, and it is also sharp lens. And the second one that you can, if your recording space is actually much larger, then you probably want to consider Sony Sigma 30mm f1.4 or Sigma 56mm 1.4. And that is the third flavor that we liked, is the Sony 50mm. So these are the different lenses that I would highly encourage you to check them out. And that's about the settings and the hardware devices that you need to bring the video footage. Now let's get to the next session of today's live show. Is going to be the live demonstration, how you can use this video feed from Sony a6100 camera within Skype and Zoom. Okay, let's go over to that. And you see my screen on the right side. I'm going to launch Skype application. By the way, what you're seeing today, the footage, the video footage of me is actually coming from Sony a6100. I'm using CamLink 4K capture card to bring that video footage into my MacBook Pro and making it available as a webcam to Zoom and Skype. And the first thing that you should actually do after you launch your Skype application, then there's a bunch of dots towards the top right corner. You click on it. That's gonna bring the settings. See that? You're gonna bring the settings. You click on the settings, and then you go into audio video. Okay, look at that. It's the same feed that you see of me is actually showing up on Skype. And a couple of things here. Under camera options, there are a bunch of options available here, but I picked CamLink 4K. That's the capture card that I'm using to bring the video feed from my Sony a6100. And I also have a USB camera available. And this is the camera that I'm using to bring the configuration that you just saw a few minutes ago everything. And if you foresee that, if I use that, you see this one there. So this facility allows you to do presentations, business presentations for your clients and so on and so forth. And that's about the audio and video settings. And in the next, actually, in today's show, actually, I'm not really getting into the audio aspect because audio is a much more bigger thing to talk about. So in one of the videos, actually, in the future videos, actually, we will cover how you can connect your external microphone with your Sony a6100 and also configure, audio mixer and so on and so forth. All right, so that's about the Skype settings. Now let me turn it off, the Skype. Let's bring Zoom application. And Zoom, and there's a gear icon. As soon as you launch the Zoom application and you go to the settings and you see the video option under settings, you click on that, you see the footage here. And again, under camera, there are a bunch of options available here. And you can actually see the Sony's a6100 video feed into the Zoom. And probably if you're launching Zoom for the first time, if you're not enabled the HD, you make sure that you enable HD so that you can get high definition quality video footage. And if you're really interested in touching up your appearance, there is an option here. You can touch up your appearance. And there's one more thing that I like to show you. It's a bonus tip. I'm using actually this live show that I'm bringing to you using a software called ecamm Live for Mac. ecamm Live only runs on Mac environment, and it is the best live streaming application on the Mac. So ecamm, one of the features of professional features of ecamm Live is ecamm provides something called virtual camera. What that does is basically is every setting that you do within the ecamm, you can actually bring that settings into other applications like Zoom and other web conferencing applications, maybe GoToMeeting or WebEx and so on and so forth. But I already have the layout. What you see is the layout. I'm going to enable this virtual cam within the Zoom and see all of a sudden what you see. See, look at that. So what you're seeing live is available within Zoom. So if you have some professional branding and overlays, custom graphics, music and everything that you set up within ecamm, you can make that available in Zoom application. Isn't that cool? It is an awesome functionality. Thank you, ecamm folks, for enabling that feature. All right, so that's about Zoom settings. So let's turn this off. And the next one that I like to show you how you can bring the same video feed from Sony a6100 and making it available within Streamyard. So let me, okay, I already have it here. Since I already logged in the Streamyard, so it's not letting me, it's not giving me the option to log in. And if you are not logged into Streamyard, the first thing that you do is, you type in your username, and then it's going to send you a code into your email, and you type in the code, and that lets you log into your Streamyard. By the way, Streamyard offers 3 packages. One is a free package, and a lot of people make use of that because that is more than enough for a lot of beginners. You don't have to pay any penny to Streamyard, and you can still enjoy all the goodies, all the professional goodies, except a few limitations with the Streamyard. And Streamyard is by far the best cloud-based. In our words, we call it as a stage 2 live streaming solution out there in the market. And the second is actually, it's called basic plan. And what I have is a basic plan, and it allows me to live stream to multiple locations, multiple destinations like YouTube, Facebook, or any RTMP destinations. I can configure, I think, up to 4 destinations, and I can actually live stream to all 4 of them at the same time. And the third option is a professional option, which is a bit pricey. It's $39, I think $39.90 per month. The basic is about $20 per month. Okay, let's bring up this. So as soon as you set up your account, once you finish setting up your account, then you can come to this screen where you see broadcast and destinations. You can configure all the destinations here. I've got a whole bunch of destinations set up here. Now under broadcast, there's an option called create a broadcast, and that's what you choose here, create a broadcast. That lets you choose all the destinations that you configured. So here I am actually choosing one of our testing groups. Okay, and here you give a title called testing live with Sony a6100. I copy that title in the description for the purpose of today's show, but you can give a meaningful title and description. And now you scroll down, you create a broadcast. Since I'm actually setting this up to go live on a Facebook group, and there is a quirk within the Facebook group that won't allow people who is already part of that group, you won't be able to see their profile icon within Streamyard unless you give permission to Streamyard to bring that information back into the Streamyard live streaming application. So this comment instructions to my post, see, adds a short explanation at the bottom of your post about the group comments issue. Informs viewers how to grant access so you can see their comments. Turn this off if you plan to inform viewers in your own way. All right, so you create the broadcast. Now that takes you to this screen. There you go. See, the same video footage that you see live is available within Streamyard. Now if you go into camera, there are a bunch of options available here. Like I mentioned earlier when I showed you how you can bring the virtual camera from ecamm live within Zoom. Now the same is also available within Streamyard. So you can have all the goodies that ecamm live provides and making it the same available within Streamyard. This is so powerful, so that you don't really need to set up any branding or custom layouts and things like that, like what you see now. Within Streamyard, you can actually set up everything within ecamm live. But again, the only thing is actually you have to have both subscription. That's a caveat. But you get the best of the both worlds, if that you wanted to try out. But you can sign up for a free account of Streamyard and then still bring this virtual cam and sign up for a professional account within ecamm if you are using Mac. But if you're using, I'm not sure because we don't use PC in our studio. But every setting that I'm showing, other than the virtual cam, the video feed from a6100 can be brought into PC also using the same capture card that I am using today, and making it available to Skype and Zoom and Streamyard if you're using PC. But ecamm live is only available within the Mac environment, so the virtual camera facilities are also part of the ecamm live. So you may not be able to use the same feature that ecamm provides in PC environment. All right, so going back to the cam link again. That's it. That's the Streamyard. And let me close this. And ecamm Live. So I'm using ecamm Live today to do this live streaming on YouTube. The advantage of using ecamm, because ecamm is by far the best streaming application on Mac environment. And I think the professional subscription is only $20 per month, and with that subscription you can get the best quality, high definition, and up to, I think they also support 4K streaming to multiple destinations. Actually, here I'm only live streaming on to the YouTube now. I also have an account with the Restream. I think ecamm is also plan on providing multi-destination live streaming capability probably later in the fall. And they're working on that integration. That's about it. And now I'll quickly show you how the demo mode of ecamm is. Click on live demo mode. Now you're going to see the ecamm Live settings. So look at that. The same video of me that you saw a minute ago in Streamyard, Zoom, and Skype is also available within ecamm. And I just turned off the live demo mode. And that's about it, guys, for today. And one last quick notice, if you like what you saw in this live show, please hit a subscribe and click on the notification icon so that you will not miss a single video or single live event that we plan on doing in the future. And if you're sticking around, and if you have any questions, you can use the comment box to ask a question, so I will add that kind of question to the broadcast. I will stick around for maybe a couple minutes and see if you have anything to say. And that the important part of this live show is actually, we can engage with our audience. And if it is a video on demand, basically you just write a comment and we respond at a later time. But here in live shows, it is immediate. So that's it, guys. And if you have, I think only 2 people are watching this show. If you don't have any questions, and I will see you in the next live video. Until then, bye.